Hello everyone and welcome back to Just Finish Coding. In this brand new series, you will learn how to make a dodge the blocks game, which is going to look something like what you're seeing on your screen right now. The blocks get progressively faster and it's harder and harder each time for the player to defend himself, and eventually the blocks get so fast that the player can no longer survive. So that's what we'll be learning to make in this new series. So without further ado, let's get right into it. So once you've set up your Scratch 3 editor, the first thing you need to do is delete your cat sprite, and in its place you can just click on paint a new sprite, and you don't really have to paint anything because this sprite is just going to be controlling stuff. And you can rename this to be initializer because it's going to initialize the list, which you'll see in a minute. Okay, so I'll call that, and I'm pretty sure I spelled that wrong, so let me quickly correct that. Okay, there we go. And I'm going to start this off with a when green flag is clicked, and right away I'm going to zoom out and zoom in here to the code so that you guys can see better. And when the green flag is clicked, I'm just going to broadcast a message which is going to be called thumbnail. So the reason I'm doing this is because I want the game to be accessible from within itself. So let's just say the game is over, and then I want to click play again. Then all I have to do is just broadcast this message because in Scratch, you can't do a broadcast green flag is clicked, and that's the entire idea for doing this. Now we're not going to be doing the when I receive thumbnail in this sprite. That'll be for the thumbnail sprite, which we will get into. But right now you can just grab another when I receive, and you can put new message and call this begin. And we'll be broadcasting this message from the thumbnail after doing certain things. So when we receive begin, and here I'm going to go ahead and make a block so that I can speed up my code a little bit. You'll get why I'm using this. Just make the block for now. I'm going to call it init coordinates, and you have to click this one which says run, this checkbox which says run without screen refresh, and this will ensure that we don't pause after every single line of code to refresh the screen, because none of this has anything to do with the screen at all. So now I'm going to click OK, and we can move that block there, and you can just put this block from the blocks section into your code right here. Okay, so now when we do receive begin, we need to perform some operation or just leave it blank. And before we actually perform an operation, we need to first form a list. And I'll get into what we use this list for. Just follow me for a moment. I'm going to call this expositions. Okay. And I'm going to click OK, and now this list is going to have 4 different coordinates. So now our blocks, when the game has begun, could be on any of these 4 different locations. There'll be only 3 at a time, but let's just assume that there are 4 for now. So they could just pop up at any 4 different X locations at the top of the screen, and then they come down. So all this list is going to hold is where each of these blocks will be going when they are formed. So initially we want to make sure that all of expositions is deleted. So add in or delete all of expositions, and here you can form your first variable. So delete the my variable, and you can call this variable start x. Okay, so start x, and you can set it for all sprites. Click OK, and here I will be setting start x to -175. So it's right at the extreme left. You can also hide this variable, and now here you can grab and add thing to expositions, and first we'll be just adding start x. So I'm just going to drag and drop the variable there, and next I'll be grabbing another add thing to, and this time I'll be saying heading over to operators, grab a plus, and then multiplied by. Okay, so I'll be doing start x plus 1 times 115. Okay, so this means that we'll be moving to the right 115 steps in this case, and next I'm going to add 2 times 115, and then I'll be doing a 3 times 115. So all the blocks have between their centers a difference of 115 steps. That's the difference, and it works pretty fine for the blocks. So this is going to be it. So I'm going to show my list once again, and I'm just going to click begin so that you guys can see the output, and there you go. You can see that we have 4 items in our list, and this works pretty well. I'm going to hide this once again, And now it's time to import our thumbnail. So within choose a sprite, click on upload a sprite. And in case you have not downloaded the files, I will leave a link in the description to a Google Drive attachment. So you can go there and download all the necessary files, and I will be linking all the Scratch files part by part as well. So you can go ahead and download that, and once you're done with that, you should be able to import it with no problem. So for the thumbnail, I'm going to start off once again with when I receive, but I'll be doing thumbnail this time. Okay, so this is the cue for the thumbnail. So when I receive thumbnail, I'm going to go to X0, Y0, and I also want to show myself. And the reason I'm going to show is because I will be hiding later on, and if we don't show it, it's going to be hidden, which doesn't serve our purpose. So this is going to be it for now. And yeah, I'm just going to actually just hit the green flag. So you can see that, our thumbnail is centered nicely. And now I'm going to head over to the variables category and make one variable. And I'm going to do this in all caps. It's going to be called score. And this is going to be visible to the player. So that's the only reason I'm doing this. You can set it for all sprites, click OK. And then I'm going to make another variable. This time it's going to be a cloud variable. And this one is going to be called high score. Okay. So in case you don't have cloud variables yet and you're not a full scratcher, then I would recommend you get scratching a little bit more. But if you still want to go ahead with the series, you can just avoid all the steps with the cloud variables and just have a score, and the game would work out for you. It's just that the cloud variable makes it a little better. So now you can click OK and OK, whatever, I don't care. So now once you're done with that, you can just uncheck those two boxes. For now, we will be showing them, but we don't need to do it right now. And you can set a score to whatever, but within the thumbnail, we want to make sure that we are hiding those two variables. So I'm going to say hide score and hide high score. We'll only be showing these two things when the game starts, because if we're showing it right now, it's going to look pretty odd at the top because we don't really have that much space. Now, before I move on to the button, what I will do is add two more lines of code. And that is when I receive begin, I'm going to hide the thumbnail. That is pretty much it. And the reason I'm doing this is because begin will be broadcasted not from the thumbnail or the thumbnail sprite. That's going to be part of the thumbnail as well. But it's going to be done from the button, which will be located right here, which we will import in a minute. But we'll be broadcasting the message from there, and hence we need to hide the sprite here. So once you have that in place, now you can just click on upload sprite once again. And this time you can click the sprite which says button. And there you go, that's our neat little button. And the code's going to be pretty similar to the thumbnail. So head over to events, grab a when I receive thumbnail. That time I will be first showing myself, or actually I'll first go to the position I need to. So X is going to be 0 and Y is going to be -140. So it's at the center in the X-axis and right below this long paddle in the Y-axis. Alright, so we'll do that and then we will show ourselves. And now for our button, it's important that it is a button, and that means we can click it. So now you can head over to events and grab a when sprite is clicked. So when the sprite is clicked, I'm first going to hide, okay, so that we directly know that this works. And just to check out that it works, I'll be clicking the green flag and then be clicking the sprite, and there you go, it hides. Perfect. So now what I can do is go to variables and grab these two blocks which says show variable, okay, and I'll be showing not just the score but also the high score, and this is going to be the start of the game. So we will be showing these two variables right at the top. We will put their locations in later on, but for now just have these two lines of code in there. After this, I'll be broadcasting the two events, which are going to be begin, and the next one is going to be start game. And be very careful here because you'll have to add in the wait. So if you just do in a broadcast instead of a broadcast and wait, this block will actually end up crashing our program. That's because we want all the code to execute when we receive begin first, so that all our variables and sprites are ready to go, and then we actually start playing the game. So it's very important you add in that wait, otherwise you could have some errors. Okay, I'm going to throw that block out, and before I move on, I want to add two things. Now the problem with this is because when we do receive the thumbnail, we haven't specified the layers yet. So if for some reason we just, try and move this accidentally and then click the green flag, you can see that, well, our button never really appears. And that is because the button is behind the thumbnail, and since we haven't specified the layers, Scratch by default takes the last edited layer as the first layer, and the last edited layer was this sprite, which we do not want to be first. So what you can do is head over to the button, and within looks you can grab this block which says go to front layer and just put that before you show it. And this will ensure that everything works smoothly. And since you are showing the score variable, what you can do is head over to the variables tab and add in a set score to 0. And that's because if for some reason you've played a game and then you show the thumbnail once again, our score might be for a couple of seconds or milliseconds showing the wrong score, which is going to be the previously played score, which we do not want to show when the player is starting once again. So just add in the set score to 0, and that will be pretty much all you need to do within your button sprite. And I'm going to end this video right here. In the next video, we'll be getting into moving the paddle and also a little bit into the blocks. But for now, this is what you will have. If you've enjoyed this video, please make sure you leave a like, and also don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.